Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.
There are many different ways to buy Bitcoin, but the cheapest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin with cash is with a coin flip Bitcoin ATM. Coin flip ATMs allow anyone to buy Bitcoin with the lowest fees and within just a few steps. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm one of the hundreds of store owners who partner with CoinFlip. In this convenience store, we host a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. We earn passive income, more foot traffic, and we get free advertising done by the CoinFlip team. Getting the ATM was easy. We just contact the CoinFlip team at info@coinflip.tech, and they handle everything with no cost to the store owner. This includes installation, maintenance, marketing, and even 24/7 customer service. We just provide a small space within the store. To get your own CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM and join the monetary revolution, contact CoinFlip today. info@coinflip.tech or fill out the form at request.coinflip.tech. 773-800-0106.
And we're live, bros.
Hey, how's it going?
Scott in the chat, as always, first.
Oh,
Much appreciate
out.
the support, Scott. Thank you. Everybody
Love
tuning in,
you,
I
bro.
appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, retweet, YouTube, share it on social. If you're watching on Facebook, just know you're weird. And why are you still using Facebook?
No one watches it there. Stop it.
Yeah, I still stream it on Facebook just in case, but it's just weird, you know. Oh, by the way, yeah, in case you're new too, my co-host, lovely co-host here, Nathan, and our guest today is John. John, how goes today, bro?
Good, very good. How are you, bro?
I am enjoying the day, just chilling and shilling. Right now, man, I just feel like rolling around in my toy box, like, you know, the meme of like all this stuff, people like rolling around in bags of money or like money on their bed. I just want to lay all my toys out and just roll around on them right now.
Yeah, dude. Popping, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now it's kind of, hindsight or whatever, right? It's sort of luck, but it's like turned out that being
Nah,
a big kid at heart in crypto and just buying a bunch of shiny objects worked out for me. And I'm loving that right now. We're seeing people come into the space with the same amount of like enthusiasm as we did see in the ICO boom, but the
yeah,
enthusiasm's directed in a different way. It seems so much more, I don't know.
genuine.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing with during the ICO boom, there was a lot of hype, but there was a lot of hype because people were lying and committing legitimate fraud. This time, artists are like, I'm making this cool thing, and people are excited about it, and I think that's cool.
What are
Yeah,
your
the only way to participate in the ICO boom was to get taken advantage of. And this, you can actually create your own, your monetary system for your community.
Mhm.
So it's way different.
I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for Gary V to tweet out, "Have a morning, bro."
Yeah. We'll see him on here eventually. I have a feeling. We know somebody that had him on their show. So, I mean,
I
Yeah.
have way too many friends I'd rather him talk to before he talks to me. I feel like I'm like the boss level conversation. Like I not for nothing, Gary. I love you. I just don't want to waste my time or your time. Like once Gary's on my level, he's only been here a couple days. He's still like in the kiddie pool of NFT knowledge. When he can, hold his breath for a little while and get into the deep end and hang with me, I'd love to talk to him. I just don't. That's why I'm not begging him to come on the show. It's just be a circle jerk fanboy combo. Like I want to wait till he's on my level. Right, right. I want to when he's on my level and we can speculate on utility and like hear me out. Why didn't Taco Bell give you a lifetime supply of tacos with their NFT? Because they didn't hire me. Right? Something. Utility, man. So what are your thoughts right now, John, on like utility and utility NFTs, things that have functionality in ecosystems, whether it's staking or an in-game asset, or an airdrop NFT, whatever. What are your thoughts on utility? Oh, I lost your audio right there. Give me 1 second. It happens on every stream, and I don't know why it does it, but once a day, and you're back.
usually
If I'm
me.
lagging on your end, let me know. I'll switch to different internet because I'm streaming from my phone. But I actually just posted a blog on it the other day, and Twitter's great because like people don't see half your tweets. But are you? Is my audio still coming through?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
Cool. I think people aren't seeing the utility aspect because there's such a frenzy going on, and everybody's just trying to jump on the bandwagon, and there's so much coming in at once. But I think to me that's the interesting part. I think the art's really cool. Like I'm seeing a lot of like really cool stuff. But I just posted a blog on several utility cases that what I think is happening right now is those utility cases are being proven. This is like a proof of concept. And I think there are a lot of things for like real estate on the blockchain, like fractionalized assets. A lot of that has to be proven before $1 billion real estate firm is going to use that technology. So what's happening right now is all of that is each individual element is being deconstructed and testing in real world.
Mm-hmm.
So in a global marketplace, we're fractionalizing paintings. In a global marketplace, where we're transferring assets, very valuable assets in 2 minutes. And I think all of that's getting proven now. So I think there's hype, and then there's going to be a fade where people, there's no more new money coming in. And so people lose the excitement. And then after that is when we're going to see the real utility emerge. But the utilities you could sit there all day and not reach the end of a list of utilities that you can use. So I think there's a lot, and that's what I'm excited to see, and that's what I'm trying to focus on personally. But it's hard to cut through the hype of $1 million tweet or a $500,000 crypto punk. So it's fun, enjoy it.
What's interesting though is that you can actually you could actually transfer a $500,000 piece of artwork now without a whole security team, an armored car, this whole thing. So like it was never even possible before. You would have
Oh
to like
God, do you know how scary it must have been to buy a
wait.
$5,000 piece of art in person, peer to peer, without like somebody smarter than both of you that's not biased to tell you that it's a verified, authentic piece of art? That
Yeah.
you can't even do that with real art, even without all this. You have to go to somebody who's like an art expert who's going to be like, "Yep, that's a real Picasso. It's not a fake or a duplicate or whatever." It's hard to come by. Oh, I just
Yeah.
saw Just Learn Crypto Show donated $3.31 Canadian. You cheaped me out on it. You're not getting your bong rip.
Yeah, you need to send like 530 or something like that, I think. Canadian.
I love you, Sean. Thanks for
Yeah, we're
tuning
just
in.
playing, man.
Shout out to Senor Lupe and congrats on your success of your NFTs and outside of the utility stuff, which again is sort of like a never-ending rabbit hole. Let's kind of talk a little bit about like where this is going and how it's actually being used right now. At least how I see it. John, do you think what we're seeing is the real social currency evolution? Because I think everybody thought social currency would have been something like an ERC20 or a fork of Bitcoin. But I think it's turned out that these social currencies are going to most likely be NFTs. For example, Jack Dorsey's selling his first tweet for millions of dollars. That's almost like investing in him as a person and getting some kind of like Jack Dorsey equity, which is weird, but I think that's where we're headed. Celebrities are coming in and making NFTs. Taco Bell's coming in. It's like having a Taco Bell NFT feels to some people like having Taco Bell stock.
Very true.
Yeah. When you say social currency, do you mean in a metaphysical sense of like social currency, or do you mean like physically like social media usable currency?
Yeah, like usable like instead of government currencies, we'll have our own Ken coin, John coin, Nathan coin. I think we're going to see that barter economy come from self-sovereignty of like, my whole slogan of being your own Satoshi. People creating their own currencies and giving them value and establishing that value and then trading based on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's social assets being created. You can buy a Ken NFT and then sell it for double the value in like
Right.
6
I mean,
months.
I can't buy equity on the NASDAQ in Banksy, but I could
Right.
buy a Banksy. And now we're starting to see
Right.
artists use tokenomics, and especially because of that secondary market residual, Beeple selling $1 NFT, and after it's been bought and sold over a couple of days, secondary market Beeple's making $600,000.
And
Yeah.
artists can produce more than one piece in a way where it's still all the original piece. So like usually you'd have to do prints of your work, and that like you have one original and then copies. Now you can have like several originals. So like that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
With
I mean,
the utility, Little Yachty kind of hit it on the head too. If you bought one of Little Yachty's NFTs, you could redeem it for an hour of his time or something like that, or get like a shout out in a video or a collab with Little Yachty.
See, he did it smart, dude. A lot of these guys in that space didn't do it that way. They just sold the NFT. They didn't attach any utility like the Soulja Boy one. He's just like, oh, I might give one of you this bag of crypto that I've got. That was kind of his selling points on it.
I was just curious. Yeah, John, do you see this as a way to invest in like influencers and celebrities?
I do. I want to be super, super careful to say like publicly that this is a way to invest in influencers, because I think like I saw what like Dead Mouse posted and him doing his drop on Nifty Gateway, and not to say anything specific to that, but I would be careful as far as trying to invest in famous people that might just be trying to profiteer on the whole thing. But I agree with what you're saying, that this is a way for, I think social currency always was something in a metaphysical sense. Like we're always bartering with our time and our leverage, and like everybody wants to get at you guys for your social currency right now. And when I was in business, people wanted, just my time. It wasn't money. And so there's always going to be different ways. But I think you're right that taking a specifically non-fungible token is a way to do that in a really pragmatic sense, because your value is different to different people. So when you have a fungible currency, then with a non-fungible currency, people can value that how they want, and they can attach different attributes. But with a fungible currency, it's more like money. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
John, anything? Or I mean, John,
Oh, no.
Nathan, anything?
Oh no, I thought you were about to hop in. No, I totally agree. I think that we're going to see different smaller economies set up within these larger economies. So like within just the atomic hub economy, so to speak, we have like the Kenn Bosak economy. We have the blockchain heroes economy. And there is like an aspect of the metaphysical social currency, as well as like the physical non-fungible currency that's available through NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, not just individuals. We're seeing, like I said, Taco Bell doing this started something huge, bro. Like, this is definitely a lot bigger than what people think it is when they see Taco Bell verified on Rarible selling NFTs. This is going to be huge. Wait till Wendy's, you know, and McDonald's and Burger King all start making memes of each other on the blockchain.
Yeah.
What about when you can actually buy some like legit Kobe beef on the blockchain or something? Like ensure that this is like legitimate. I don't know. There's like going to be some interesting use cases when it comes to like higher end items like that, where you actually have to track the provenance to ensure that you're getting a high end item, because you could have like an easy copy if somebody like really knows what they're doing.
Right.
So
that's the problem with like oracles. I think it's funny because these concepts have been around for a while, and people in the crypto space have been talking about it, and now it's on our doorstep, and they're like, wait, hold on. But that like you're talking about is the problem with the oracles, because like VeChain is trying to do, they want to be the blockchain for supply chain. The problem is, how do you prove that box of hats or that shipment of Kobe beef is attached to that token? Eventually, you still need a dependable oracle to say, yes, that item is attached to this. But I think all of that is getting proven right now and being tested over things like digital art. And I think that's going to have a huge payout in the future for the people that are paying attention.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that cheap, affordable DNA testing will be integrated into this. Like 20
23andMe NFTs.
Think about it.
I can think about it. It's crazy.
Like that's the link to ensuring provenance of something on the blockchain. Is like, all right, I can actually say that this thing is one of a kind because I analyzed its genetic structure.
Right.
And if that's ever affordable, then that removes that layer of trust that we have to still put into these.
For people that may think this is far-fetched, and I think John's a great guest to bring this up on, man. You know, I'm sure you've seen this, John, the virus the virus inside of the NFT. Have you seen that? Right. I talked about that about a year ago, telling people, you know, it's not going to take long for unlockable content to be viruses and you know, much more nefarious, you know, content. You know, just curious, where do you see that potentially going, since this is like just the beginning, right? Like it's always something creative on top, and I'm just curious, like, where do you see this going, where, you know, viruses are being nested in NFTs?
Yeah, I think that's why I think this phase is so important and people are underestimating it. And I don't know if anyone got affected by that virus before they took it down.
No, OpenSea jumped in and tried, real quick.
So I don't know if he was trying to be malicious or just trying to prove a point, but
he was trying to prove a point of the censorship of OpenSea. Since it was delisted, he's making a big stink about it.
OpenSea's getting heat because there was another guy that was, he did a literal rug pull on people, which I'm sure you'll talk about too, where he listed stuff on OpenSea, and then while people were bidding, he switched all the photos to rugs, and he switched the whole description to this really intricate description of these fine rugs. But I think there are important conversations to have that are happening right now. Me personally, and you probably know this a little bit, but I got into crypto and Bitcoin and all of this because I'm very much about decentralizing authority, decentralizing control. And I would rather have to be responsible on my end to not get a virus than someone tell me what I can and can't buy. So I think the ideal situation in my mind is where people can choose what they're making into NFTs, and they can put them on the blockchain where it's immutable. But a platform like OpenSea has the right to list and take down what they want. I mean, there are some things, you know, you don't want up there.
Yeah, build your own marketplace, right? That's really the answer.
Yeah. So you know, there's always the dark web if you want to buy and sell viruses, and that's never going to go away. But I think it was a really important proof that right now the token and metadata connection is not where it needs to be yet. I think we need to
Yep.
do a lot more building as far as maybe IPFS is the answer, and
Oh God, yes.
They're great.
some of the stuff I'm doing with IPF is with IPFS, and with that is a little better because someone can take down your link and you can just host it on a new node, and your links aren't going to be broken. Ultimately, you would want to see the metadata being immutable. Like if you
Right.
could get the actual image of your CryptoPunks or the image of your, tyranny escape plan in your foreign country, that's, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever use case you see for it, you would want that to be immutable. And then I think there are, like you're saying, going to be open marketplaces where people can choose what they put up. That's why I've blogged a little bit about Rarible. Why I really like them as far as a platform is because they're trying to go that route of decentralized. They're setting up a very rudimentary decentralized autonomous organization with their Rari token. They're working on IPFS, and I think that's the direction to go. But I think people have to go through those situations where they download a virus or where they get a rug pull to realize that that's an issue. And I think it's cool. This is why I like artists, because they're the ones that are not afraid to put some time into something like this to just prove a point. And I think it's very helpful, actually.
Right, you touched on something exactly that I did want to bring up right after this. Perfect segue there is, that rug pull sort of event there where, and that was an intentional NFT rug pull where the images were,
Right.
switched out on the back end where the API was calling the token data from. But
Yeah.
some people
And
may not.
no one got hurt in that
Right.
again.
But there's the people that already bought NFTs, that the people that made the art didn't use IPFS, right? So now they didn't intentionally set this up, but they are in a position where one day you can go and look at your NFT and you'll see an error 404 because the hash for that image wasn't hosted somewhere, and the servers either erased it, dumped it, or they banned it because it's a centralized server that you're hosting your art on. So I'm worrying a lot about people that are buying NFTs from art that's like on Amazon's web servers or something, bro, or like maybe running on their own servers at home.
AWS. So not to keep taking shots at them, but that's where they host their stuff, is AWS, and that's
I know,
scary.
it's scary as fuck.
Mhm.
And I legitimately am worried about it because this is going to be a big problem when you look 100 years into the future. And now we're going back 100 years. And how much of the infrastructure are we building on right now to build into these NFTs and everything will be functional or be around to be there to be used?
Yeah, as an artist, I was so thankful to find IPFS, and it's like a really interesting tool. Like you said, you can't just be shut off or muted, and that's the whole idea of this thing, is finding that way to where it's actually decentralized somehow.
If you don't mind,
closer than anything else, I guess.
Yeah, if you don't mind me sharing a little bit of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, not to shill my stuff too much.
No,
but
please shill away, bro.
Chill, bro. We got you.
Let me share screen, I guess, right? Boom. If you need to share, you can share now.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to whoever just bought an NFT. I saw that pop up. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm on my phone and I'm not used to Zoom on my phone, so I won't do that. But
okay, no worries.
I got into crypto in 2017, and I think that year and the next year is when I met you, Ken. Around that same time, I was getting into art as a painter, just in the real world, and just for fun and debating making it a career. But part of the reason I started to come public with my stuff is I see where a lot of stuff is being proven now, and a lot of kind of a path is being forged through this wilderness. And I want to make sure that people are aware of the best practices to use going forward, because exactly like you said, especially with art, this is stuff that if you're making a really nice piece that hopefully is going to be around for 100, 200, 500 years, and you want to make sure that you're future-proofing that. So basically where I'm coming from is I've been painting for 3 or 4 years professionally in the physical sense, making acrylic, abstract, contemporary art. And for a couple of years, I've wanted to merge that with blockchain and figure out the Oracle issue, figure out how to prove provenance, how to use a certificate of authenticity. And so what I've basically been doing is I'm taking my paintings and I'm embedding an NFC chip, near field communication, which is kind of confusing because it sounds a lot like NFT.
Yeah, I get it.
But I'm embedding an NFC chip. They're just little stickers. You can get them on Amazon for like 10, 15 cents each. And my work is covered in epoxy, so it's permanently stuck in there. It can never be removed. So I'm embedding an NFC chip, and then I'm putting all of the metadata onto that chip. So that's forever linked to the painting. You can't spin up a new token. You can't spin up a new contract in the future. It's all permanently linked in there. And that is linking to the contract and the token ID, and I'm embedding the web link.
And it's obviously tamper resistant to the eye. You'd see if somebody tampered with it. You know what's interesting? I don't know if you know this, John, but 2 years ago, I actually put the first NFC physical piece of art together with Kyle Kemper in Miami. Yeah, man. It's just so freaking awesome. I've literally been talking about this for 4 years now, though, right? Like a lot. I've done art events before there were NFTs. I've done decentralized art shows, blockchain art conferences, all before NFTs existed. So I was telling artists, like, eventually, like exactly what you said, you'll have a canvas. You'll put something behind it, like a private key, or we used NFC at this event, and basically when you went up to the piece of art and you tapped your phone to it, it would verify that it was what it was.
Yeah, you got to send me that because I didn't see that.
Oh, it was Love What You Do and Kyle Kemper. So the artist that in Miami, he's pretty well known for Love What You Do. I always forget his name. Sergio, something like that. Love What You Do and Kyle Kemper. And it was a really big piece of art, and we ended up going overboard after it worked out, and we put one with like Bitcoin on it. So if you tapped your phone to it, you could sweep Bitcoin off of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. Yeah, I'm so so this is exactly what I love to hear, man, because this is right up my alley of like interest, and tying that physical art to the blockchain using NFC. Absolutely perfect. That's where we are headed. And I think the next step may even be seeing physical art having these smart frames, not just digital art or digital picture frames, but a smart frame that goes around your physical art, like a hardware wallet for physical canvases. And that way, exactly. That way, if somebody takes it off my wall, they'd have to destroy the art to get that frame off, that lock. You know what I mean? Like now I have a GPS picture frame on I've seen these things that already exist for high-end art, but they're not using blockchain, which means a hacker with a smartphone could usually take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's what I like about this space too. There's a lot of people like us that can just come up with some crazy ideas in a conversation like this that could change everything. And then you have a lot of people in traditional tech not doing really anything innovative. And it's I think it's why all of what we're doing here as artists even is going to change things.
How many pieces have you?
We are where the fuck is going.
How many pieces have you physically tokenized like that, John, with the NFC?
Just the one right now. This is something that I'm bringing out this year. So I've done a bunch of paintings over the years, but this is the first time that really when I saw, and I'll probably say it again a few times, that I really like Rarible, what they're doing, because they're tying in IPFS. I figured this was the perfect time to bring it out. And so this is the first one that I physically tokenized. And if you guys want, it's going to be for auction the 20th and the 21st. But so this is the first one I've done that does that. So that's a chance to get a piece of history. But I think it's going to be the future, because in the legacy art world right now, your certificate of authenticity is from a gallery or from the artist themselves, and it's just a piece of paper with a signature. And I mean, that's good enough if you know the gallery or the person, but if I meet someone at an estate sale and they hand me a paper certificate, it's like, is it real?
No, it's not.
Yeah, have you seen what Garbage Pail Kids did, right? With their like Walmart, Target, physical collectible thing. I'll give you out this idea for free. Maybe you could be first to use it, John. But I mean, take that and what you're doing and combine it. Physical playing cards that have NFC stickers on the back of them, And now you know if it's a mint 1 of 1 or a mint 1 of 100 or mint number 75 of 1,000, because every playing card in the collection has NFC and is on the blockchain. That's when I saw Garbage Pail Kids doing what they did with like the scratch off stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's just beta testing. The next step is clearly going to be something along those lines. So, I mean, dude, if you jumped in and had like a deck, like 52, physical collectibles and a pack of cards or something, like that'd be huge, and that'd be awesome.
Well, what I'm also doing is I'm prints as well. So I'm doing prints, which are in the future. I'm going to stick NFC tags on everything because they're just the coolest things. Like I stuck one at my buddy's place that just said "scan this," and it pops up and it rickrolls you. Like you can just do like cool stuff with it.
Oh
There's
yeah.
no reason not to throw that in everything right now. Actually, as an artist, like, what would you say is your biggest inspiration? Just because I'm an artist, I always like to go to that corny question with people because there's always that like either dark spot or bright spot that gets us the that production that we want. So
yeah, and I think that's what makes a true artist is having that inspiration because I've been artistic my whole life, and like regardless of if I could paint or if blockchain, whatever, something I would be doing anyways. For me, I'm really big into philosophy, and like I think that's what's cool about the blockchain space. I think a lot of people are like-minded. I'm into like metaphysical philosophy and spiritual stuff, and so I will think about ideas, and if anyone like you guys probably have had the same experience, you go to talk to people about it, and a lot of times you get just the blank stares and the drop-offs, and that's fine. That's not their thing. But so for me, art is somewhere where I can express that thing that's very much a part of me and even have other people enjoy it too without having to bore them for an hour talking about the ether or whatever. So the painting, if you check out my website, I linked it. This first series is called Inner Light, and it's a very like metaphysical, philosophical painting. And it's just a place where I put my inspiration, but it's nothing too specific. So
you try to actually inject the feelings into that because like when I do something, I try to like kind of project my life force into that thing. Do you also do that? Because I know you mentioned the metaphysical parts, and we're probably similar in that sense.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people don't realize that, and it sounds a little crazy, but I think that's maybe one of the secrets to producing like not like good art because that's subjective, but just art that people can connect with. So
yeah.
So this piece right here on the front of the website, is that it?
Yeah.
That's the one with the NFC right there on the front of the website? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it on the screen share. It was
no, but they can see it. Yeah,
yeah. So that's the one. It's called Gnosis, and it should be like half a face and then this light.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Thing. Yeah. So, and the other weird thing about which I don't know if people who aren't industrial will know, but all of my art is carbon fiber. Ever since I started.
Okay, that's what the fuck it is. I'm like, this looks so weird. Like, how did you get that visual? That's carbon fiber. Okay.
It's real carbon fiber panels that I make myself. And years, like almost a decade ago, I studied aviation mechanics and learned about advanced composites and things like that. And honestly, me painting on this started because I was working with this material and I was like, I would just like to hang this material on my wall because I think it's cool. And I was like, you know what, if I painted on this, it would be awesome. And it turns out that after I make the panel, the texture is a lot like canvas. It's like, it paints like a normal canvas and then I epoxy over it. And, but I'm a super big geek about this kind of stuff. So
no, it's cool. Like I'll find old instruments and stuff and like break them apart and paint on the faces of them and stuff. Like violins, I like to find like guitars. So yeah, like it's everybody has their like favorite preferred canvas or something.
Yeah, mine's a coloring book.
Hey, you've got yours next to you. It's a giant Post-it pad, right?
I'm a total fraud. It's just a cool. I feel like, hey, I need a prop. Oh, I can get a canvas. That's like that's a great prop.
You need to draw and tokenize a piece live, Ken.
I'm telling you right now, bro. I cannot draw. I used to love trying.
Don't be the fun of it.
I used to try all the time when I was younger, man. I just appreciate art. That's why I buy so much art. I just appreciate people that can do it because I've tried so much myself and I cannot take what's in my mind and put it on in a physical way where it doesn't look like crap. And just, that's not what I meant to make. What is wrong with this? It's every time I try to
Yeah.
make art.
The brain hand connection is difficult. That's the hard part.
Yeah, it is for sure. My biggest problem was trying to get over the hurdle of like depth perception and perspectives
Mhm.
and things in proportion. And I'm just like, yeah, no, this is why Picasso did him. He was just like, screw you and your perspective and proportions and all that.
Yeah. It's funny, if you look at Picasso's paintings over his career, his early paintings were pretty decent. I mean, they weren't like amazing, but, and this would be advice to anyone that's like new to art, is find something that's unique. Like, there are a lot of really talented painters doing that, what do they call it? Like super realistic painting,
Yes.
hyperrealism. But just find what you like and do that, because if you look at Picasso's career, he slowly got sloppier and more.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to touch on that right before. I was hoping you didn't get to it before me. Picasso went from real art,
Yes.
real art, and
Real
learned as he got more and more people into his, fan base,
Well, he unlearned.
that trash art sells more.
Well, and it speaks more.
He was
So,
the
like,
original trash artist.
Well, you feel trash art more in some ways. It's more expressive. Anybody can take a photo, and if you can paint the photo, that's amazing. But like, we've lost the ability to find that to be super impressive for whatever
And
reason.
when we say trash art, we just mean it doesn't, like, what's the most famous painting? I'm sure you both know, like the most like famous repainted, reenacted thing that people paint over and over and over and over again. It's the fucking fruit basket. The goddamn fruit basket. I forget the name of the art. It wasn't Andy Warhol or whatever. Who made the fruit basket popular?
Everybody. There's
somebody, but then it became like the thing in art school and the thing to try to do to say like, oh, this is how good I can paint. I can paint a fruit basket. Well, like you go, oh, you can paint a fruit. I bet you I could paint a dumpster that's on fire. Yeah. And now somebody paints a dumpster that's on fire, and there's only one dumpster on fire, and everybody else has all these fruit baskets. What's going to stand out?
Yeah. Well, the idea of the fruit basket is that, the apple will shine a little bit. The orange has a different texture. They're all like difficult to paint next to each other, and they all capture something different from the same light. So it's like sort of a decent challenge as an artist to say like, it's like saying like, do you know what you're doing as a painter at this point? Mm-hmm. And if you can master that fruit bowl, in some ways you're kind of ready to like move on. But that's something that with bringing up Picasso, I think is interesting. His whole thing was like, learn how to paint like you didn't ever learn how to paint, like a child, because that's the best way to express your emotion.
Yeah, he unlearned how to paint over time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I think that the subjects that become popular in this next generation are just going to be random things within like that bigger social currency market we talked about that are important to that specific person. Like you, like the things that are important to you are going to be your subjects, and those are going to catch fire within your community.
Oh, and by the way, John, we'll have this, what you said it's going to go for auction. We'll have it highlighted on QV NFTs, quality value NFTs.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing with QVN? Because I just realized that was you.
Yeah, I'm just doing it to play around. But even just right now, playing around, we took a look at the impressions for one of the live streams, and it was 20,000 impressions.
Oh wow! Okay.
Right.
Pretty
right.
Good, right?
That's crazy for one tweet, one little live stream. Like, yeah. So right now it's just a 24-hour live stream of all the different NFTs that people can buy, active drops, active sales, listed, active auctions, things like that. Just want to make like a little live stream thing that's like set it and forget it. Whenever my friends have anything that they're doing, I could put it up there and we all can kind of keep up with each other.
Yeah, so it's like the QVC of digital art.
I have no clue what QVC is. What's that?
Quality Value Network.
Oh, yeah, that thing my grandmom used to watch. I don't know. I heard about it. It's just a coincidence.
You can buy a porcelain cat or like...
yeah, my lawyer told me it's a coincidence. I mean, I told my lawyer it's a coincidence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so that's, I don't know if we have time. That's the other thing that I think all of this is challenging is IP law, because...
It doesn't exist anymore, bro. IP law does not exist. It has no power here.
Yeah, and that's
your IP on the blockchain.
That's the whole ethos of like the blockchain community, is pushing those boundaries, because centralized authority can set a bunch of laws, and what blockchain does, and in every realm, I'm about giving power back to the individual. whether it's money, what it's spiritual, whatever it is. And with the digital art is it gives people the power to have the leverage to say, we don't like these laws. We don't like these laws. It's kind of like torrents did with the digital, with movies and music and stuff. And it gave them the power to say, we're not gonna do it because you can't hunt us all down. So I don't know what you guys think about.
Oh, I think we're
where do you think the
succeeding.
line is?
This is the age of digital succession. We don't have to, secede from our laws. We can secede from protocols. We can fork what we don't like and use and opt in and out of what we do and don't. So like how I say a lot of the times online is, we are moving more towards an era where we don't acknowledge laws, we acknowledge protocols. And if the protocols aren't setting the rules, then or aren't setting the laws, then it's just rules, social rules that we're playing by. But the protocols will dictate what are laws.
Right. Where do you see that going with IP law in specific? Like,
I actually was going to avoid this because you've been hyping up Rarible, but I'm about to jab at it, bro.
okay,
He's
go
gonna
for
throw
it.
some
Go for
jabs at you.
No,
right
no,
now.
but I do get genuinely concerned. I love what Rarible's doing, but I'm just like, shit, dude, John McAfee's my dad and the dude's in prison. There ain't nothing I can do about it, and I feel the same way that I worry about Rarible and their team and the fact that they created Rary and, basically, yeah, it's not, NFTs aren't securities yet, but we all know that that's just one piece of paper away from becoming a law. So,
Yeah.
Rarible, and talking about IP, I'm verified right now.
Mhm.
So if I were to go and take a piece of art that I didn't own, go on Fiverr, pay an artist. I didn't own the redistribution rights or the license. I just paid for a piece of art, right? There's a big difference. And then I
Right.
list it for sale on Rarible, and then I sell it. Rarible is facilitating that law being broken. Same thing as Silk Road when people were hiring hitmen. The platform is going to be demonized by the end users that are game theorying the use case of the platform. So people wash trading because it generates Rary. I mean, I could literally make my own NFT and buy it for myself from a second wallet, and both of my wallets are going to make Rary every time I buy one of my own things for myself. Not only am I generating Rary, but I'm also hyperinflating the value of my own NFT. I can buy it for myself 30 times, and then the 31st person's the greater fool, and he thought there was a lot of people interested in it, and it was just me over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and Rarible will be held accountable for this. I'm just curious, I love what they're doing, but I am genuinely concerned for the laws that don't exist that will just be manifested overnight tomorrow, and then FBI raids the next day. This is going to have like a Pablo Escobar event. They created the Money Act because of Pablo Escobar. Money laundering didn't exist until Pablo Escobar. These laws that don't exist today will exist tomorrow because of platforms like Rarible.
Exactly.
Is that
How does
the
a platform
strategy
fix
behind a
that?
DAO though? Making that currency.
Yes, make it a DAO. You have to get away from the responsibility and
Right.
offload it onto the end users.
Yeah, that
So
way
I
it's a
would argue
governance token. It's not a currency. It's like it's a little different, and they might not have to face any regulation because of it.
I would argue that Rarible is the platform doing the most to decentralize, though, and that's why when I started out, I was initially thinking OpenSea was going to be the place I'd want to go.
Me too. I feel you.
I'm not a fan of curated collections. I think that's the same old that we've had in the art world with galleries, and I don't like that idea.
New gatekeepers, right? The new Big Brother.
Right. So the reason, and I'm not funded by Rarible. I'm not associated with them at all. I'm trying to figure out the future-proof platform because, artists are going to have to sell their art somewhere.
Yeah. Have you heard of Mintable?
Yeah, I have.
They have a DAO already. I own one of their NFTs. I vote in their governance model. They're kind of on that step. Just one tiny little step ahead of Rarible. But Mintable has also been around 2 years longer than Rarible has ever even used the word NFT in their team, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta do it this time now. All right, Anthony, you win, bro. Much appreciated. Thank you for the super chat.
What did he give you?
I don't know, but it's euros, so it's worth more than USD.
I mean, I don't know about technically.
Euro's like the Bitcoin of fiat. Dead, prove me wrong. I'll wait.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I think my mind's in a weird place for that comment because I can't really respond intelligently because my mindset. But so I'm not gonna mess with you. I'll let you have it.
All I'm saying is, John, I do worry about the platform. The same, and I kind of had that dawning the day Arthur Haynes was arrested and BitMEX was shut down, and I was like, wait, BitMEX is decentralized. Like, how the fuck is this dude responsible for anything? And then I'm like, all right, wait, they're getting him for the tax stuff. And then they just started piling everything on because they had some foundation to just throw paperwork on top of. So I'm just, that Rary coin is why I worry about Rarible. That's all.
Do you think it's the coin that's the problem? That's where
100%.
the SEC is going to get them on securities law?
The way that they did it, and the way I've been around for so long, I talked to people that did ICOs and thought they gave away free money and thought they were in the clear. And all they did was ask for your public address. Little did they know, data is considered monetary value. Asking for an email address or any kind of anything, any information, I am paying for it with data. I've purchased your free airdrop with my email address. I purchased your free airdrop with my public address. Rarible took it one step farther, and I actually bought Rary with my gas. I had to spend money to get it. That was a purchase. They did an ICO. There's no difference. It's just the laws haven't caught up to the vernaculars.
Right. So how does Mintable get around that? Because I think luckily, and like you said,
they doubt out. I'm more responsible for Mintable now as a DAO NFT owner than the team that actually fucking put it together.
Okay, I like that. I'll look into them a little bit deeper. The other thing another thing I didn't like about OpenSea, and again, not to keep
OpenSea's OGs, and they know that they deserve anything they get at this point. They've had the most amount of time to do UI, UX, and any interoperability. They deserve it. They've earned their credit, but they've also earned a little bit of this too.
Yeah, so they've got their like lazy minting thing where you can just put something up and it doesn't mint and pay gas until it's sold. And I think that's helpful. But on the other hand, as much as I don't like gatekeeping, I think it does kind of overcrowd with, in the real world, if you want to paint, you've got to get canvas, you've got to pay for paint, you've got to do all that. And I'm not saying
it's a pre-sale. They're pre-selling art now, right? How's that not an ICO of NFTs, John?
I guess so, yeah. And
Thank you.
I think it's also misleading people that your art is on the blockchain until you sell it, so it's not, immutable. So
it's false advertising, it's misleading, and that's market manipulation, and that's all illegal shit. That's illegal now. They don't even have to write new laws to get you in trouble.
Yeah, the trick is to remove the ability to manipulate it, and then you're not going to be scrutinized.
This is why I know the NBA came in with Flow and the way that they're doing it without letting people be able to get their private keys or be able to do things off on secondary markets, and the way that they're using blockchain technology for their IP and their collectibles is probably how most will. And a lot of the things that will probably let you actually have your private keys and do that, as much as I do, they're probably going to use non-transferable tokens. They're just, that's what it's, if you're buying a membership to Netflix and they're doing NFTs, it's probably just going to be a non-transferable token that you log in with MetaMask when you want to go look at Netflix, right? You can log in with Google if you pay with Visa, or you can log in with MetaMask if you have this NFT. But they're not going to let you transfer. And that's going to be because they don't want that secondary market problem. That problem being, they're probably going to be considered a security. This is why Fortnite doesn't want their skins to be tokenized. Not just because they don't, we could sell so much more. They're going to have to hire a whole new legal team.
Yeah. So I've been studying the securities law around art for a little while now because the other thing I'm doing is I'm fractionalizing my art. So each piece is a sum of, they are fungible tokens. They're ERC 1155.
I love, that's my shit right there.
Yeah, I love ERC 1155 is like
everything's a mint number one. That's what they should. That's their slogan. ERC 1155. We're all mint number one.
We're all number one.
Yeah, but so there's 1,000 tokens that equal 100% of the painting, and when I auction it, I'm just going to bundle them all together 100%. if you're selling a painting or a guitar or an item, that's fine because you're selling the item and distributing the tokens with it as a proof of ownership. But the trouble you get into is the secondary market where people start selling just the token as as an investment in that security, basically. And
Like
so that's,
Kickstarter or GoFundMe.
yeah, so securities law is so interesting to me.
So
'Cause
this
there are ways
hasn't been a
around it.
thing that existed yet, but I've actually, and I love you, Coin Artist, and I love you, Neon District, but they kind of did that, right? They did an ICO with NFTs. They didn't have a game. They sold a bunch of NFTs that were going to be used for something that they were going to use the money for.
Mhm.
Technically, all of those NFTs were securities until the game was made, and then they became utilities. And I think
Right.
there's going to be a Schrodinger's box of this financial paradox of
Mhm.
NFTs. And probably doesn't make any sense to whatever I just said because I'm a fucking weirdo. But if you understood what I just said, you'll get it. Like
Yeah.
these NFTs are going to be riding a real gray train. And
And
you're
you won't
right. They
know
can't.
until
They
the
have to
SEC
have
gets
utility
started.
before they get sold.
Yeah, yeah. And we won't know until like everything is about case law. So you won't know until the first guy goes to jail over it. And so
Yeah.
I think I want to fractionalize, and I think that's the future. And so I'm setting up so that in 50 years it's possible with myself. But I think I would caution people to be careful about it. Don't there was another platform called Mycenas, which was supposed to be fractionalized art, and they were using ERC20s, but I don't know what their scheme was, but within a few years, the trading platform that they had was shut down, and they're a kind of non-existent now because, as far as I could tell, they were just blatantly selling securities, and their excuse was we don't own the platform, even though they were the one tokenizing them.
Mm.
Like you said, you're not going to know until the SEC starts putting people in jail, and I think we need as much leverage as we can, though, with dexes and decentralized things, so that way we can say, well, this is what we're going to do anyway. Because if 10 of my friends want to buy a share into my work, I'm going to do it, and you can't prove it. So,
I'm curious on what your thoughts are, and Nathan, you can jump in here too, I guess. But recently, John, they had an update on Rarible, and they unlisted everybody's assets for sale, right? And they did their best to make up for that or whatever, but everything was delisted by Rarible themselves. I mean,
you mean not listed in the marketplace,
right,
though, right?
not listed on the marketplace for sale. They had to relist everything for sale.
Yeah.
What's stopping Rarible from maybe having to bend the knee to the government and having to implement KYC? And if you are an artist on Rarible and you don't send them a photo of your passport and all that goodies that they need, they'll just set it so you can't list your art for sale anymore, and people can no longer list your art for sale anymore that they've already purchased. Like
Yeah.
these are the things that, like, saying future proof. Well,
Mhm.
future proof isn't just like tool up. It's also regulation and enforcement of that.
Right.
And I am worried that these platforms like Rarible will probably end up eventually, and it sounds more reasonable than not. Look at what Poloniex was doing during the Wild West of shitcoins, and then Circle came in and acquired it for like $350 million. And why
And
would Poloniex sell for 350 when they were making that a day?
mhm.
Because they knew if I change hands, we are no longer responsible for the misdeeds of the past. So if a
Yeah.
company wants to go public and not be held responsible for the past, they're going to get sold. They want somebody to buy them, and the new guy, he's going to change the rules so he doesn't break any. And it's almost like money laundering a business. You're literally washing it. You're baptizing a corporation when you resell it. So when this new owner buys Rarible and implements KYC exactly like Poloniex did, and Poloniex did delist a lot of coins, which I believe Rarible might. Is that something that you've thought about, or anything like other platforms could, like even OpenSea, all of these centralized platforms, even Atomic Hub could do it to me.
Right.
And I do worry about like that
Yeah.
future mandatory KYC and mandatory whitelisting addresses from these centralized places, these marketplaces.
Yeah, I think I've definitely thought about it. I think that's why I'm still trying to figure out which platform does it best, and I'll dig deeper into Mintable. I don't know what their auction features are like. Maybe I'll just forego Rarible and do it there, because the cool thing is you can move your tokens to any marketplace you want, and most of them, if you look at the URLs, are very simple. It's just such and such.com/contract address/token ID, and they won't ever take that token ID away from you. That token ID is always going to be in your wallet. And that's why I'm so heavy about putting the metadata, as far as like the name, the size, the date, all that, in the actual painting itself. Now, for digital artists, you don't have that option. So basically, someone will just own the token ID of a digital painting that they can't list anywhere. That's the thing we got to figure out. So hopefully Mintable goes more in that direction, where it's not on centralized servers, it's not under any kind of centralized control. And I don't know, it's challenging, but it's definitely something that's got to get sorted out.
How long do you think until somebody like Coinbase just comes in and buys Rarible and we don't even have to think about it? Everything they're doing right across to that platform, it would almost be easy for them. And then we would all just have to accept it. Do you think that actually
Coinbase won't be buying? None of these crypto companies are buying other crypto companies. Legacy companies are buying blockchain and crypto companies.
Right. So OpenSea does white label programming for their platform. They can spin up a new OpenSea and stick your label on it. Yeah. And I don't think it's long before Christie's buys something like that.
Yep.
And if they want to sell more digital art, they're just going to go to OpenSea and say, build me a user interface.
Copy, paste, new logo. That's it.
Then you don't get left holding the bag for, the prior sins of that company as well, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, the nice thing is, here's the thing too, why I think art is a good next step, because with Bitcoin, we started with finance, which is one of the most political things you can do. Art isn't a step far removed. Art is extremely political. And as much as people might think that, censoring a Buzz Lightyear, animation by Beeple isn't a big deal, but a lot of art is a big deal politically. And especially like art is huge in Hong Kong. And if you can start censoring what these artists are saying, that's a problem, because that's how you influence cultures, through art and music. And these legacy systems know that, and they want to hold their monopoly on it. So I think anything that gives us leverage is the direction. And I think it's the direction that's going to win, because we're seeing, after a decade, Bitcoin is winning and the legacy system is yielding. And, it's encouraging too.
Yeah, they might just let go of certain things a little bit and just think, all right, I'm not going to die on that hill.
You know what? I'll wrap it up on this, guys. We're here. Something that, maybe you should... I've seen people doing this, and I like to just do it for the lulz and the trolls, but I've seen what seems to be sincereness from people debating. But just, we don't have the right to tell each other what is or isn't art, or what they think is or isn't art. I could be walking across the beach and find a fucking rock that I could treasure for my entire life. And it's the most beautiful piece of art Mother Nature has ever made. And it's just a pebble that I found walking on the beach, or whatever. It could be a tweet. I don't know, and I don't care. But we don't have the right. So just don't waste your time debating with people what they think is beautiful and what they decide is art to them. We don't need that kind of mentality in anything. Tribalism ruins spirituality with religion. And the tribalism that we have now is going to ruin this if we keep arguing with each other about what is or isn't. What's the best dessert? I think it's cake. You think it's pie. Why can't both be okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And that's like what a lot of my work's about. It's pieced together from different things that people may or may not think is beautiful. That's why I like collage.
I'm not saying we can't make fun of each other for buying stupid shit that but just don't tell somebody that's not art, because that's like saying when they pray to Buddha, that's not God.
Absolutely. It's all like everything's so subjective. It's just us deciding everything. We create our own environment in our head.
So where can people, I already posted your website, I'll post it again, but where can people go to get in touch with you and keep up with your art projects?
Appreciate it. Yeah, my website's just johnconstantineart.com, and you can email me at contact@johnconstantineart.com. And I'm just different handles on social media. Just look up John Constantine and I'll be around. But yeah, Twitter, Instagram, all the main places.
Nice. And you got beautiful artwork, and I encourage everybody to go check it out if they haven't seen it here. And yeah, it's great stuff. And what you're doing with the NFC chips is cool. It's something that, like Ken said, has been done for a
Huge
while.
fan already, bro.
Yeah,
Huge
absolutely.
fan. Right out the gate.
I take credit for that. Ken pioneered that, but you got to send me that. I want to see it.
But it's cool to see
I
artists
got
doing it.
blessed to be the. I was just there was 2 artists in the room, and I was just really high and was like, "Hey, man, I got an NFC thing. You should just like put it behind." And they were like, "What?" And it just one thing led to it. It never was a thing that was bigger than that day. But yeah, man. I mean, for all I know, somebody else did it before me too, and that's another thing. It wasn't bigger than that day to them. I think Johnny Dollar has an open dime in one of his pieces of art. So it's like a physical Bitcoin piece of art with Bitcoin in it. Anyway, yeah, we're wrapping things up here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Senor Lupe, Crypto Quandary, much appreciate the support. Just Learn Crypto. I got a lot of super chats. Sean, thank you. Anthony, appreciate it. Bunch of super chats here. We had Arts in the chat. Scott, thanks for all the love, bro. I really do appreciate it.
Love you, Scott.
And everybody, appreciate you. John, Hex, the Hex community was here. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, have a day.
Have a day. Love you guys.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.